Hello friends, welcome to the start of another reading vlog. Now I know I've been a little MIA in terms of YouTube. I just felt a little burnt out. And what is that? Okay, okay. And I didn't do a vlog for like last week, like the Friday that just passed. Anyways, I didn't do a vlog because, I've been in a slump. After that, read through 3 romance books, I've been in a sort of slump and things have happened and stuff has gone down and stuff. So, yeah. And yeah, so I've been in a bit of a slump. I've been all over the place. I think I'm going to, for the time being, okay, I'm not fully DNFing it, it's not a hard DNF. I'm going to return to it eventually, but for the time being, I am soft DNFing The Assassin's Apprentice because as much as I was enjoying it, I was just not in the right headspace for it. And I think I just needed something, I don't know, more intellectually stimulating, I guess? I don't know. I just needed something that wasn't Assassin's Apprentice. That's all I know. I was enjoying it. I think I would have probably given it, as far as I've read, I think I probably would have given it maybe a 4.75 stars. I'm not sure if it would be 5 stars because I don't know how it ends. I don't know anything beyond what I've read. And I did get quite a ways through it. I really like the audiobook and I keep renewing it, but what is that? Like, is that like, I don't even know what that is. Okay, sorry. Anyway, so here's the start to another reading vlog, and the book that we're going to be reading throughout the course of this vlog, probably. Maybe I'll add in an extra book, but I don't know how well I'm gonna do with that, because usually if it's like longer books, I need to fully focus on the books, but if it's like a bunch of shorter books, I can like sort of bounce around and stuff, and I really want to be reading. I'm trying to read more physical books, more of my physical owned books and stuff. And I also have a bunch of library books, but those are due forever at this point. And so the book that we're going to be reading for this vlog is The Count of Monte Cristo. Now this was, how did I go about this? I started this on my Kobo because I wanted to read it before I read For She Is Wrath by Emily Varga, which is a Count of Monte Cristo retelling with like a Pakistani main character, and there's all that fun stuff. And it's like lovers to enemies to like lovers or something like that. I don't even know. But, I intentionally kept it vague for myself because I didn't want to, know. I wanted to be surprised. And I thought, what better way to read it than read the inspiration. The problem is the inspiration is over 1,000 pages. To be honest, it's not really a problem because I literally read 5 1,000-page door stoppers last year back to back, or almost back to back. So this really should be nothing. I'm also annotating it, so it's taking me a lot longer than I would like it to take me. If I wasn't annotating, I'd probably already be halfway through this, but I am annotating, which puts me at page 105. So I'm really enjoying it. And the story with this book is I read up to, I believe he left the Chateau d'If, and then he was on the Isle of Monte Cristo trying to find the treasure that the Abbé told him about. And I believe I got the abridged version at first, and then I found the unabridged, and then I downloaded it, and then I started rereading it with the unabridged, and I got like a little bit before that. Anyways, so this is the Penguin Classics edition. I still don't know if it's the abridged version or the unabridged version, but I'm having a blast. Dumas, despite the tomes that he writes, is an incredibly accessible author, and I'm really excited to read all his like other books. Like I'm really excited to read like Hunchback of Notre Dame and The Three Musketeers. And I also want to read at least one of those in the original French because, as far as I'm aware, he's also fairly accessible in French, and as he is in English, but in English, the reason he's accessible is reliant on the translator. And since it's Penguin Classics, like, there's a reason why I say if you're unsure, go for the Penguin Classics or the Oxford Classics, because there's a reason that that translation, that person was specifically chosen. And I've read reviews on this saying that Robin Buss's translation has been like the best one to access because he does a really good job of really honing in on the vibe that Alexandre Dumas wanted to have. If you are not aware what this book is about, also I will be watching the 2024 movie in French, so I'm really excited about that. But anyways, if you don't know what this is about, if you've been living under a rock, no, I'm kidding. If you don't know what this is about, this is actually inspired by a real life case of wrongful imprisonment. And this was written by Dumas. Okay, and this follows our main character, Edmond Dantes, who is I believe he's like the first mate of like the ship, the Pharaon. Le Pharaon. And basically he comes into Marseille and then he is wrongfully accused of being a Bonapartist, aka someone who is for Napoleon Bonaparte being put back on the throne. And Bonaparte is on the Isle of Elba at the moment, but he has like escaped. And we have King Louis the 18th, I believe it is. So there's that whole thing. And so Dantes is wrongfully imprisoned just as he is about to like be married to the beautiful and elegant Mercedes. And if you hear slight differences, like slight variations of when I'm talking about a specific character, that's because I'm literally pronouncing it in French. Because I do speak French, but I wanted to tackle this in English because English is my stronger language in this case. So, you know, and yeah, and he basically gets imprisoned on the Chateau d'If, which is a castle. And so the Chateau d'If is a castle prison on an island, chateau meaning castle, and it's very difficult to get out of that because you have guards posted everywhere and stuff, and he escapes. And the Chateau d'If is meant for, like, I guess you could say political prisoners, but it's meant like for the worst of the worst. And in this case, Dantes is a political prisoner because they think he's a Bonapartiste. And yeah, so there's definitely different dynamics, interesting dynamics. When I first read through it and I read the interactions with him and the Abbe, who is like the prisoner next to him at one point, I really liked that, and for some reason I had it in my head that it takes forever for him to get out of the Chateau d'If, but maybe because it was the abridged version, that's why it didn't take too long in terms of the wording and how many chapters we spent in this Chateau d'If. But he spends like 20 years, like, no, okay, not 20 years, but he spends like over a dozen years. Like, he spends a long time in there. And to the point where when he escapes and becomes the Count of Monte Cristo, because he took all the money that the Abbe told him about that was on the Isle of Monte Cristo. I'm not explaining this very well. Anyways, he becomes the Count of Monte Cristo and he cleans up, so to speak, and becomes very rich and hell-bent on revenge. So I'm very excited. I apologize for the lighting. It's like peak sunlight right now, so the lighting is a little bit weird. Hopefully I'll be able to fix this in post-production. But yeah, so I'm very excited for this. I know this is a very long-winded introduction, but I hope you enjoy this vlog. I hope it's also not like an hour long, but you know me, I am incapable of making non-hour long vlogs, so I hope you enjoy this one, and I will see you later. Also, the part where I'm at, he hasn't gotten to Chateau d'If. We just saw the chapter about Villefort and his dad, Monsieur Nartier. Oh, sorry, no, I'm on chapter 12, so father and son. So we will get the conversation between Monsieur Noirtier and de Villefort. And de Villefort is pro-monarchy, so pro-Louis the 18th. And Noirtier, his dad, is, I believe, pro-Napoleon. So there's like that sort of clashing. Anyways, I will see you in the next update. Hello, I have small updates, not big ones, but small ones. I have read quite a little bit. So I told you I was just like on chapter 12. Like it was just like it said like chapter 12, Father and Son. That was page 105. And then while I was giving my sister a bath, I read to page 128, I believe. And obviously I've got a couple of tabs, so if you can see them. It's just like stuff I enjoyed, and I thought stuff that was like relevant and stuff, and just, I don't know, stuff that I liked reading. So I'm not like, you know, really analyzing this, but it's interesting. There's this one line that I really liked that I felt was relevant to right now. If I can find it. This is between de Villefort and Marseille, so father and son. And this is in chapter 12, father and son. And this is a conversation between them. And Marseille asks, they're talking about General Quesnel, who was murdered in the Seine and found in the Seine. And I think that Marseille did it because there was a description of Marseille coming from this specific club that's like, that apparently is a place for Bonapartists to go. And so Marseille asks, who made the attribution? Villefort answers, the king himself. And then Marseille says, and this is where at one point I underlined, the king, I thought him enough of a philosopher to realize there's no such thing as murder in politics. You know as well as I do, my dear boy, that in politics there are no people, only ideas, no feelings, only interests. In politics, you don't kill a man, you remove an obstacle. That's all. So I thought that was really interesting because obviously after that point, you know, after the whole Napoleon Bonaparte thing and the King Louis the 18th and stuff, you do have things such as, you know, people murdering others for their own gain and stuff, and, you know, especially with, I don't know, stuff like the US has murdered people. Everyone's killed someone. All governments have killed someone. You know, United States have killed someone. Canada's probably killed someone. You just don't hear about it. Political opponents have been killed for sure. But yeah, so I really want to read, but I have to finish this post that I'm writing, and I don't know what to write for one of the things, so I like wrote them haphazardly, so to speak. But yeah, so yeah, fun stuff. I'm gonna check if I have any messages because I didn't see any Discord messages, but basically the point is, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I really want to continue. I want to continue so bad, but I gotta get this done so that it's out of my head and it's not hovering over me like a shadow. And then I'm hoping to continue this, or maybe I'll be sucked into watching The Librarians again because I'm really enjoying The Librarians, and I really just want to do anything but right now because it feels like word vomit. But I've got a candle going. It's the White Barn Mahogany Teakwood candle that one of my best friends got me 2 years ago, I want to say, and I don't use it very often, but during times like this, I need scent to focus, and it's a really nice scent. So yeah, and I really need to get this done and stuff. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying the clickety clackety keyboard. But I also forgot my microphone. That is. I feel like I'm running around like crazy. My hair is crazy. It's my break now, so And it's sunny and it's warm. This is great. I feel alive. Please excuse my hair. Wow, it's awful. Look at what I got. Slut. I really should have redone my hair today, but it's okay. This is the Russian version of Lord of the Rings that I requested to be brought to the library. It's not exactly the translation I want, but it'll have to do until I get my own copy of Lord of the Rings, which I ordered from a Russian bookstore. So, yeah, should be fun. I'll try to read maybe like 5 pages a day. But yeah, should be cool. Yeah, that's it. I did read a little bit of Count today. Not a lot, but I watched through the 3rd season of The Librarians. Y'all don't want to know how I am as a TV show fiend. Like, this is not... I need to get back to my roots. My roots is not TV. My roots are not TV. It's not TV. It is books. So I need to get to this 2 pages a day. That's my goal. So maybe I'll do a separate reading vlog for this. And try to get like halfway through. Try to finish book 1 of That's what I'm gonna try to do. Not like the first book, but like book 1 in the first book. So we can totally get to Elrond's place until they get to Rivendell. So hello, I've got mild updates for you guys. It's going really slowly, so I feel like this reading vlog will take longer than I wanted to, but I can't seem to focus on any other book, so you're gonna have to deal with it. Canto Monte Cristo, it's being tapped, obviously. I'm on page 274, 75. So yeah, it's going solid. I'm almost at the, I don't think you can see it, but there's a tab like right there. So I've got this many pages to go till I hit the 25% mark, and then this is the 50% mark page. And I'm really enjoying it, although I don't like the way this is turning out, because it feels like it doesn't look like the spine is properly cracked. You know, it feels like there's water damage underneath. I don't know if you can see it there. There you go. So it doesn't look like it's been, and I cracked it properly. Like, I relaxed the spine before I even started properly reading this, and at the top it's like it's coming apart. I don't know what it is with the new versions, but let me show you my copy of, like, for example, I don't want to get that out, but either way, I'm really enjoying it. So Dante's is out of the Chateau d'If, and he just talked to Cadrus. Yeah, he just finished talking to Cadrus, and he's going to Monsieur Morel to talk about, like, what happened and stuff, and he gave Cadrus one of, like, the diamonds and stuff and all that stuff. So yeah, it's going well. You know, I feel bad for him, but I understand his need, his want for revenge, because same. Although I'm too nice of a person to do that kind of stuff, but I feel like if I was in his situation, I'd also enact revenge. But anyways, so that's the bookish update. I don't have many other updates. I'm just doing, I got this Wordle thing, and I stopped doing it for a while, and I'm gonna do a couple of them and stuff. And yeah, seems like there's like, what, 365 of them or whatever. So I'm behind, obviously. Number, day of the year. It's day 73. So I can go all the way up to 73 and then be caught up. So I can do quite a lot. I can do like, what, 40-ish. 40 something. But yeah, so yeah. There you go. Day 73. It's day 73 today, so whoop-de-doo. And yeah, I'm just gonna do the Wordle for a little bit, and then I maybe will film a couple videos. I just have no idea what kind of video I want to film, but we'll see. Alright. Hello. It's really sunny. Sorry about that. The sun decided to come out, apparently. The whole day it was so dreary, and it was like raining, and now the sun has decided to grace us with its presence. But I have such an exciting package. I mean, I opened it already, and I didn't film it because my sister was like, I'm gonna open it. And you know how sisters are. If you don't let them open it, they're gonna, I don't know, try to bite you. But I got this really cool, really stunning copy of the new Odyssey translation by Daniel Mendelsohn, and it is gorgeous. It is so stunning. I am, like, not kidding. I'm gonna take the dust jacket off. Also, I don't know what it is about this, but I love the feel of this. When I start reading it, I feel like I'm gonna throw the dust jacket in dust jacket hell, but look at that. It's a little boat with the water. It's so cute. It's so cute. And then it's just like this. And this is giving, like, the old books, you know, has a map, obviously. Doi. What kind of Odyssey book would it be without a map? I think, pretty sure, like, every copy that I have of the Odyssey has a map, because how can you have a copy of the Odyssey without a map? Doi. The introduction. These deckled edges drive me up the wall. Introduction. Okay, so it's a slightly different map, obviously, but it's still very cool. Let me see if I can. Still very cool, I think. Again, this is the paperback, so maybe the hardcover looks a little different. I don't know. I don't have the hardcover. I wish I did, but I really like the paperback. I don't know, something about the paperback it gives, you know. But this one is a hardback because I requested it, and that's what they give you in terms of, I believe this is a finished copy. This comes out April 9th, so by the time you see this video, it is still not out probably. But yeah, look at that. So cool. So cool. As I said, the map, the pages are absolutely exquisite. And there's such a long introduction. Oh my god. I usually don't read introductions, but not gonna lie, I'm gonna read this introduction. I'm gonna read this introduction. Let me read you the beginning. And then there's a further reading section. Okay. I see how it is. Obviously, another map. Proper, you know. Book 1. This is how it starts. Tell me the tale of a man, Muse, who had so many roundabout ways to wander, driven off course after sacking Troy's hallowed keep. Many the people whose cities he saw and whose ways of thinking he learned. Many the toils he suffered at seas, anguish in his heart, as he struggled to safeguard his life and the homecoming of his companions. Those are the first few lines of Mendelssohn's translation of the Odyssey, and I'm obsessed with this. So now I actually have 5 copies of the Odyssey if you don't count the book vase. If you do count the book vase, it's 6 copies, but we're not going to count the book vase. And it's also my 5th Bookstagram anniversary on the 20th, I want to say. And I'm just going to post like a picture of the 5 Odyssey books. So 5 Odyssey translations that I have. 2 of them are actually the same translation, just in different eras, I guess. But yeah, so that's that. That's all I have. I read a little bit of Count of Monte Cristo, and then I sort of stopped yesterday because I don't know why I stopped yesterday. I think I might have got distracted by something. I think I was distracted by my sister, probably. Anyways, that's that. Oh yeah, and I guess I should probably show you the other books that I have now. I got a copy of, I got this, 6 Wild Crowns by Holly Race. This is about the wives of Henry VIII and stuff. I don't know much about the English monarchy. Like, once we get to Henry VIII, I sort of tap out, I guess. Or no, sorry. Once we reach Henry VIII, I sort of know, but also I don't. I don't know. The English monarchy hasn't really, I don't know. I've never been really particularly intrigued by the British monarchy, you know? The most intrigue I've had is in grade 3 we watched the wedding of Kate Middleton and Prince William. And the only reason we watched the procession of like the wedding and stuff on the big screen is because my teacher was from the UK. So that, shout out to you, you know who you are. But yeah. So that's that, 6 Wild Crowns. It's the wives of Henry VIII with the dragons. From a major new voice in fantasy comes a breathtaking epic of dragons, courtly intrigue, sapphic yearning, and the wives of Henry VIII as you've never seen before. So maybe we do get sapphic. I think it's mainly following Seymour and Boleyn. Ordained by God, the king of Elban must marry 6 queens and magically bind each of them to one of the island's palaces, or the kingdom will fall. Each queen vies for the king's attention, but clever, ambitious Boleyn is determined to be his favorite, relishing the political rivalries and courtly games that comes with her title. And if she must incite a war to win Henry over, so be it. Seymour is a reluctant queen, originally sent to court as spy and assassin, but now trapped in a loveless marriage. But when she and Boleyn become the unlikeliest of things, allies, the balance of power begins to shift. Together, they discover an ancient rotting magic at Elban's heart, magic that their king will do anything to protect. Now the only hope of survival rests on Boleyn and Seymour uniting all the rival queens before it's too late. So, yeah, I guess we're gonna see everything from Boleyn's and Seymour's perspective, but it's gonna talk about all 6 queens. So there's that, and then I've got 2 books from the library. because I love libraries and everyone should utilize their library, especially their university library. You guys don't understand. If you're a university student, go to your university library. You'll be surprised how much stuff you can get from them. So I've got Les Enfants du Capitaine Khan by Jules Verne. This is like a really old edition, and I don't know how I feel about it because, the pages are yellowed. So I don't know how I feel about it. I did get, I think, another copy when I requested it, but I like this cover. I think it's really nice and simple. I don't like any of the covers that are available online. And then I got the Russian translation of Lord of the Rings, the first one specifically, Fellowship of the Ring. This isn't the exact translation that I want, and again, I don't like the pages. I don't like the paper that they're using. It feels terrible. But this isn't the exact translation I wanted. It's just that it was difficult to find the specific translation I wanted because they didn't have covers on the thing. But yeah, I do have my own personal copy coming in at some point. Once it gets here from the bookstore that I ordered at, so I will talk about it afterwards, obviously, once I get it. But as for this one, it's okay. I want to read at least to book one. I want to read at least book one, so like the first book that is of this one. So not, you guys know what I mean, right? Like just the book one of, in this, right? Because it's book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4, book 5, book 6. So book 1 of the whole series, right? And then I will update you as we go along. That's not the primary book for the vlog, but it'll pop up. So yeah, that's it. I will let you go. I have to transfer a bunch of videos because my phone's running out of storage space. So I will see you the next time that I decide to update. So peace out. Usually I'm not this sensitive to this stuff, but holy cow. It is so bright. Yeah. It's so fucking bright. Oh my god. I need like glasses, like sunglasses, clip-ons or something like that because holy cow, it's terrible. And my earbud is falling out. So anyways, got my boba, heading to the bookstore. Whoop-de-doo. At least it's sunny. Okay, I'm not gonna really complain, but holy hell, it is bright. I'm just hoping I don't start to see too many spots that aren't supposed to be there. So, yeah. Hello, once again, I'm like in the worst spot known to freaking mankind. There we go. That is a better spot. Now you can see how messy my hair is. But, okay. So, the plan, if my computer decides to work, is to, I don't even know. It is to, I need to like, sorry, hold on. There we go. I need to like get a move on with the Count of Monte Cristo because I really want to read Sunrise on the Reaping, and I also really want to finish this vlog and get started on the Sunrise on the Reaping vlog because it's Friday and I still don't have a vlog. And yeah, so I'm hoping to get to, I guess 50% would be the goal for today, and then I can get to 50%, and if I continue reading, then that's great. Fantastic. Wonderful. It's wonderful news. But yeah, I keep switching between the physical and my e-reader. I'm gonna tell you how many pages the e-reader is telling me it has, because it's an absorbent amount. Like, hello? Oh. Wonderful. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm on, I believe it's called Roman Bandits, and they're talking about Vampa and, no, Awakening? Roman Bandits, which is chapter 33. I'm a bit of ways through it. But here it says 26% read, which, yeah, sounds solid. And it says it's 4,150 pages, but that's because it's on a Kobo. So if I zoom out, it'll like change the amount of pages based on like the font and stuff. And yeah, so I like to have it, the font on a bit of a bigger size because, ooh, Jesus, while the font isn't super small, it's still, I think bigger font is easier. I do have a curve. Wait, never mind. But it's just easier on the eyes. So yeah, so that's the update. 50% today, the rest tomorrow. Okie dokie, that's the update. For once, my hair doesn't look terrible, and I'm not like in direct sunlight. Although it does look a little bit dark, but okay, I think that's better. Hopefully. I have acquired a book. I paid for it ages ago. So technically I didn't pay for it yesterday, but I ordered it online. That is the first Lord of the Rings book in Russian. This cover is low-key goofy, but this is like the Russian version of like Penguin Classics and Oxford Classics, because they all have like a picture, right, that represents the story, and then they usually have like the title, the name of the author, like this, especially if it's longer. Usually you'd have like the first name and then the last name in like big letters. And in this case, they don't actually use like J.R.R. It's like his full name, and then Tolkien. And then you have like the title of the book, and then on the spine, also very iconic, you have the title, and then in this case, it's just John R.R. Tolkien. So yeah, excited to read this. This is the the Exclusive Classical translation, but I'll tell you who the translator is. Muravyeva I Kistiakovskava. Muravyova, yeah. So, Fellowship of the Ring, and I'm gonna try to read like book 1 of this, like part 1 of this, and I want to get that done at least because it's gonna be exciting. And yeah, and on April 6th, someone I follow on like Instagram and stuff, she has a Substack as well, Brienne, I believe her name is, she's hosting a Silmarillion read-along. I've never read the Silmarillion, and it's been too intimidating, and it's been staring at me from my shelves. So yeah. Also, I've gotten other books, so I'm just gonna switch my camera around and tell you. I don't know if I talked about it. So this one, I got this one. I also got 6 Wild Crowns. Once was Willem, I got a while back, but that's regardless of that. And then, I don't know if I told you guys, but I actually got these ones for $15. All 3 of them for $15, which was a crazy steal. But yeah, excited to read this after I read. Also, I love how big the font is. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it doesn't have like an introduction or anything. It just starts with the prologue of hobbits or whatever. Рассказ у нас пойдет в особенности о хоббитах. Любознательный читатель многое узнает об их нравах и кое-что из их историй. So I'm thinking of doing like a Russian reading vlog, if I can form my thoughts in Russian properly, as well as I do in English. But I just think, am I throwing myself in the deep end? Yes. Do I know how to swim? Yes. But yeah, so that's the update. I'm still like, I want to say 27% through Monte Cristo, I believe. Yeah, 27% through. I have to note this down that I am this far through, but yeah, so I've been reading it on my Kobo, but yeah, exciting, fun stuff. Really enjoying this. I'm gonna take this with me. Oskar, ты что не оделся? Anyways, we're going to a ramen place today. That will be fun. Yeah, so I'm gonna take this with me. I'm gonna film a little bit and stuff. And oh, I have to put my earbuds on charge. Why do I? Alice! Come here. We're all going. Come here. Yeah? You can put it in your piggy bank. Hold on. Can I redo your hair, please? Just let me, please, Alice, let me redo your hair. Why? Because it's all in your face. She's not letting me redo her hair. That's okay. I'm gonna continue reading. If you guys like my stickers, my Lord of the Rohirrim sticker, and then my like travel sticker, I'll get more stickers, but maybe later. Hello. Wow, I got like a new sweater from this one like small business, and I really like it, and I think that red actually really suits me, much to my love of blue. I was wanting to get like the greenish one, I think there was, but I decided on red because I do think that I'm more warm toned than I am cool toned. Although I love the color blue, so that's a bummer. But yeah, I just had to show this off, you know? I just have to. Hold on, let me show this off. My room is relatively clean for the most part. Ignore this. This is just like to block the light. But this is the fit. So yeah, I got a medium and it fits me just right. It fits me perfectly and it has this design. And yeah, so that's that. My room is actually fairly clean, but you know, just an FYI, the blanket is there because there's a light coming from the extension cord, and yeah. I was filming a hyperlapse instead of filming a proper video. I'm gonna pause this. Thank you. But so yes, hello. Filmed like a minute, 2 minutes of me talking, and it was actually a hyperlapse. Like it was a time lapse instead of a proper video. But anyways, why do I look yellow again? That's not even. Just. Does that look better? That doesn't look better. I look so yellow. But like this, I don't know if that makes it better because the light isn't very strong. So, but yeah. So, anyways, I'm doing like a TBR jar, which is what I'm doing. The little slips are prompts and stuff. I don't do TBRs in general because I'm like an insane mood reader, but I do want to start getting into that habit more often because like I've proven that I can do it. You know, like I sat down, chose 3 romance books, put it in a spinning wheel thing, and read them in the order that the spinning wheel told me to read them in. So I figured, why not give it a go and do maybe 1 to 2 books and do like videos for it, like reading vlogs and stuff. So I'm not gonna do like monthly TBRs. I don't think I'm ever going to achieve that status. You know, if I had all the time in the world, then yeah, I'd be able to do TBRs, but I don't have all the time in the world, unfortunately. So yeah, I will do a TBR jar prompt video after I think I finish a bunch of my books, the books that I have on a list and stuff. So yeah, yeah, basically that's that. I hope that some of these aren't too obvious as to way they look because I'm good at remembering stuff like that. So hopefully my memory will be shitty and I will not remember it. But yeah, there's I think maybe like 1 book or 2 books that are not directly on my shelves. They might be downstairs, or I might have given them to like Oscar or something. So my youngest brother, the 13-year-old. So I'll have to borrow some of his books or just get it on my Kobo. But I do want to start, like, you know, reading the books on my shelves, so that's why I'm doing this. This isn't, like, part of the TBR vlog or whatever, but this is still the Count of Monte Cristo vlog, which is taking forever, mind you. I thought I was going to hit 50% yesterday, or the day before. I did not. Why? I don't know. Kind of sucks, but yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. That's the little TBR jar. I'll do 1 to 2 prompts at one point, and then we'll just do ones that are like cute, you know, and cute videos and vlogs and stuff. So here's the TBR jar. It's a little jar that my boyfriend got me, but there we go. Just gonna place it right there. It's gonna stare at me. That's okay. You can stare at me. Throw that in the garbage. Yeah. Okay. that's it. I'm gonna work on some Substack stuff, I guess. If I have the energy for that. I don't have the energy for that, but where's Substack? There it is. Don't have the energy for that. Is there a way? I think there was a way of like, wasn't there a way? I figured it out. Nice. Pin to start. Oh, okay, I don't use pin to taskbar. I'm gonna use that one for now. Pop out window. Slay. I have to make like a long list of the posts to remember which ones to do and which ones, like, I just have to patch up everything, you know? So yeah, I'm just gonna put a time lapse or something, I don't know. Okay, hello. I am on chapter 39, called The Guests. So we're expecting the Count to come in to Albert's lodgings. Yeah. Hi. Hello. Excuse my slightly disheveled look. I have to wash my hair, but I haven't really done that. Anyways, and I just didn't brush my hair yet. But so we had like freezing rain, and because that freezing rain, the weight of the freezing rain caused the branches to like fall on the power lines, I imagine. So we have no power. So that means no internet, no data, nothing. Which is like, oh no, what am I going to do with no power? It's not like I have a 1,000 page book to finish, so I want to get a chunk out of that. I can't really tell you much about like the book because I haven't read it in a couple days. What I did read was something completely different, and I actually read it in a day. And that is the Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love by India Holton. The cover is super pretty. I'm staring at it. I really don't feel like getting up. But yeah, so there's that. I really like that one. That was 5 out of 5 stars. And I'm going to get the second one soon once it comes out. It's gonna be exciting. And yeah, it's like 2 weeks, so really excited for that. As for Count of Monte Cristo, that was kind of put on hold when I read An Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love. I highly recommend that, and it's like a historical fantasy rom-com kind of thing going on, and it's really fun. It's a bit ridiculous in its tropes in a sense. Like it takes like the one bed trope and sort of twists it on its head. It's really funny, and the way that it's written is really fun. I just like the sense of humor and stuff, like it's right up my alley. But yeah, I'm gonna show you what happened with the freezing rain outside. The freezing rain outside. Oh, see that? See? And the neighbors actually fell into their pool, snapped, which is crazy. In the front yard, just a bunch of branches. Hello, the power's back. We got the power at some point, and I read to 43%. Hold on a second. This doesn't feel right. Oh, okay. 43%. Woohoo. I'm gonna try to get to 50%. I don't have a lot of pages left, but it is a lot of pages, and yeah, I read 113 pages today. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna finish it before tomorrow, like the end of tomorrow. So unfortunately, I will only have read one book in March, which was The Ornithologist, Field Guide to Love. So I read that in one day. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not too upset about it. But yeah, because this is a chunker. So, you know, there were some days where I barely read anything. You know, there were days where I read a lot, like today. So it's not that big of a deal. I'll try to get to like 50-55% today, like before I fall asleep. But yeah, today has been weird. I can't wait to go to work tomorrow and have coffee. And then my coworker, my work friend, and I are going to just hang out for a little bit. But yeah, so I'm just reading it on my e-reader for the most part. Yeah, so I'm at chapter, let's say 51, Pyramus and Thesbe. So he's talking to Valentin de Villefort. I'm kind of losing it with the names, not gonna lie. I'm confused. But I'll just check the Spark Notes to tell me who's who, because that's what I did with Pride and Prejudice, which was very useful actually. So if you're reading like a classic that's totally new to you and you're a bit intimidated, I'd highly recommend checking the Spark Notes, because usually the summaries are fairly solid. But yeah, that's the update. Okay, hello. I hope the sound quality is okay. I'm utilizing the mic. I haven't been able to really utilize it because I don't really like filming in public spaces, but this is a fairly private-ish space, semi-public. So, here are updates. I feel like I haven't updated in forever. My case is also dying, but I haven't even used the thing, so it's out there in the world. So,
I have had one hell of a fucking week. So on Sunday, we lost power from 4 a.m. to 7 or something. I don't even remember. So I read 113 pages that day. And then Monday, I read a little bit, I believe. And then yesterday, I read a little bit. And I was mainly like annotating the parts I read on Sunday because I read it via my e-reader. So sort of like rereading and remembering parts that I liked and underlining and tabbing. So this is what it looks like now. This is what it looks like at the moment. It's battered. It comes everywhere with me essentially. This is the tab process, so to speak. I don't have a tabbing system. I'm just going down the tabbing thing. So yeah, so I'm on page 647 at the moment. So we are 51-ish% through, a little bit over 50%. Anyways, I've had a week. So, as I said, Sunday we lost power from 4 a.m. to the evening, through the evening. And then we got power back finally and stuff like that. And then Monday I had picked up a shift and I forgot my laptop. And there's no chance of anyone dropping it off or anything because the way that I time my Uber callings and stuff, my trip to the train station, because I take the train to work, there's no time for anyone to be called or anything to get my laptop. So I forgot my laptop. So I read, essentially. I didn't really have that much time to read, to be honest, but I did Tuesday, so yesterday. I forgot. Someone was truly playing a trick on me. Like it's been the longest April Fool's joke. April Fool's is over. Stop tricking me. It feels like it's the longest joke of my life. Yesterday I forgot my e-reader, which isn't that big of a deal. Not as big as my laptop or forgetting my laptop charger. That was solved anyways when that happened. But yeah, so I forgot my e-reader, which is a bummer because I also got approved for The Maiden and Her Monster by Maddie Martinez. And I was really excited to read it. And I was just like, I can't read it. I'm not gonna read it on my laptop. Like that, the e-reader, the online e-reader version for NetGalley sucks. I was like, I'm not gonna read that. But I got it onto my Kobo today. So that was all. Oh, also on Monday, completely forgot. So I take the later train, the 10:20 train, right? I get to my station at 11:30 by the time the Uber comes around, and it takes me 15-ish minutes if I'm the first stop, 20-25 minutes if I'm the second or third stop or whatever. So I get home at the latest 12:15-ish, 12:10-ish, right? 12:05, 12:10 at the latest. So on Monday, what happened was I get on the 10:20 train, right? We didn't even make it to the next stop. Okay, we were like in the middle, okay, between the two stops. The engine failed. There was a failure of the engine. We were stuck there for maybe more than half an hour, 30 to 45 minutes. Okay. The customer service person is like, yo, I contacted Metrolinx. They're probably going to send another train. The other train pulls up. Now, this is, I believe, already the 11:13 train. That's the next one, right after the 10:20. That's the last train that goes up north where I live. So we had to do a deboarding. Essentially, we went from our train to the next train. And because we were waiting, and we had to deboard, and everybody had to get off, and then off our train onto the other one, and they had to make sure that everyone was off safely and stuff, and that no one was forgotten and stuff. So that took a while, and I got home in the end at 1:30 in the morning, and I got up at 8 o'clock. Yeah, that was crazy. So yeah, there's that. As I said yesterday, I forgot my e-reader, so it feels like someone's just casted a spell on me, and it feels, I don't know what to feel. Please take it back. I don't need this right now. Please take it back. I promise I'll be good, okay? I won't talk shit about people, I swear. Yeah. So yeah, and today, as I said, the curse fucking continues. I got a bunch of Muji pens yesterday from Yorkdale, from the Muji store. I got a purple one, I got a black one, I got another blue one. So I got these 0.38, if it focuses, 0.38, right? And I really like them. And I used them in the annotating, and I swear, I journaled with the pen this morning, okay, before I went to work. Now, work is here, The cafe I was at is here. Okay? Between them is the subway station. Okay? I went through the subway station because it's fucking freezing. So here's the cafe ish. Here's the job workplace. Okay? Go through the station, get to my job. I swear I had it with me. Couldn't find it. I could not find it. I had to resort to a 0.3. And then I decided when I finish my shift, which was at 5 o'clock, I will go to Yorkdale and I will get replacement pens. So that's what I did. I went to Yorkdale and I got 2 black 0.38. So there's that. So mission accomplished. I will survive to whoever, freaking cursed me. Another, on a happier note, they were throwing a bunch of these date due little things that you stick to the back of the books, like you stick in the sticky folder or whatever. They weren't getting rid of sticky folders. I'm gonna ask if maybe they have leftover sticky folders because I could definitely use those. But I took a bunch, called it my contraband. So I took a bunch, and my backpack was heavy as hell. And this was on Monday actually. So I was coming home at 1:30 a.m. with a heavy ass backpack because I had like 20, 30 of these little packs of date do thingies. I have more of these when I do books. So yeah, that's that. I gave one to one of my coworkers because she wanted to draw and stuff on them. So yay. She'll be happy with that. And yeah, I got highlighters too. Let me show you because I'm digging the highlighters, not gonna lie. Very much so. Okay, so I got this. This is the smoky apricot highlighter. If it focuses, this is my phone, so it's likely not gonna focus. Okay, I am working on a budget here. This is the lilac, as you can see, the purplish, and this is the olive green. Now I do have a tester thing that I did, but anyways, they're really pretty. They do sort of bleed through actually. Like if you don't press it lightly, like if you don't press it too hard, they're not going to bleed through. But yeah, so I got the 3. I got a couple of other pens. I got notebooks. I got these, the iconic, Muji notebooks, and I am restarting my learning of Persian. So I got these. It's like a pack of 5 or whatever. Oh, hold on. These have the testers. Does this one have the tester? So here's the tester of all the pens. This is the 0.38, 0.63, 0.30, 0.38 purple, and then the colors. Let me flip so you can see it better. There you go. So these are black and then red and then purple and then specific highlighter colors. So yeah, and I am let me show you a more significant page. So yeah, it's taking a bit of getting used to the whole right to left thing because I'm not used to it because none of the languages I actually speak right that way. So it's taking a little bit of getting used to. So I think I'll get over it eventually. But yeah, so that's the ridiculousness I've been through these past couple of days. It hasn't even been a week. It's ridiculous. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I need this curse to end. So whoever hexed me, please take it back. I promise I'll be good. Please take it back. But yeah, that's the vibe. That's what's going on. That's it. Thank you for listening to whatever the hell happened this week. I'm really enjoying the book. I am, as I said, 50-ish% through, and I'm hoping to finish by next week. With the rate that I'm going, I think I'm going to finish in the next couple days, but I'm not going to. Yeah. What did I want to say? The book club pick for April is Sunrise on the Reaping. And I feel like you guys have seen in certain clips, I've been struggling to not read it. Because I know if I drop Count of Monte Cristo, even for one book, especially for a book like Sunrise on the Reaping, I will not get back to it for a very long time. So, I will not get back to Monte Cristo for a very long time. So I'm determined to read through it and then get to Sunrise on the Reaping. I did read a book in between sort of all of it. Last week I read The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love by India Holton, and it was really good actually. I really enjoyed it. 5 stars. It's top. It's a pretty good book. It's a romance, like historical fiction, fantasy rom-com, and she writes the exact type of humor that I totally dig. You know, it's just that really funny, insanely ridiculous type of plot. Like instead of one bed trope, you have a trope where there's only one room in left, but it's like twisted on its head. But yeah, so that's that. I would highly recommend actually. I'm not big, as I said, on romance, as it's obvious, but I do know that I do indulge. It's a guilty pleasure, to be honest. But yeah, so that's that. I've been talking for way too long, but this is like probably the longest update you will have in this vlog. I'm really enjoying Count of Monte Cristo. I'm annotating it. I'm vibing. I'm going to eat because that smells really good, and I want to eat. I'm so hungry right now. I'm also on my period, so it's like the worst. Anyways, I will catch you later, and yeah, peace out.
This is the food. This is the food I have to show you. It's from Thailand, and I got the True Leaf raspberry because I know people are saying that the fuse is the same, but it's not the same. There's a difference. So, there. There's I got the deal or whatever, the special. Just pita box, like chicken shawarma or whatever. And yeah. Yeah, so it's with fries too. Ooh, he added a lot of sauce. Really go ham with the sauce, I'm not gonna lie. Let me just show you the wonderfulness of this. I'm so hungry. Look at that. Ugh. Just yeah. I'm hungry. You know. Yeah, and I like their fries too. You know. Yeah, I just really like fries in general. So. Oh, I took my mic off. Okay, sorry. Ow. I have too many books, so this portion of the video is going to be me attempting to organize my bookshelf, which basically means that I am shuffling books around and I am bringing books downstairs to the basement bookshelf and maybe the living room bookshelves to see what those ones look like. But yeah, enjoy the time lapse. Yeah, life hack is putting your camera on a time lapse and putting on like classical music for deadline videos. That's the ultimate. Where the hell is the button? It's the ultimate hack. So yeah. Couldn't find the button. Okay. I have a lot of books, as you can see. I have books from publishers. I just have some library books. I have some books that I'm definitely gonna give away. I have a box. I really don't want to show you this, but I just have like 4 boxes. One has some clothes that I don't find myself wearing, like in the winter at least. And the others have books of books that I will not read. That's literally all it is. Yeah. It's it's getting really frustrating. I have a really small space. I have so many things. And I have no space for it. So yeah. That's all I could really say right now. But yeah, I just have so many things that I'm just finding that I'm not wearing, or that like I'm not going to wear to any extent. So yeah. I mean, most of the clothes that are hanging, yeah, I wear them. However, it's getting to the point where it's like crazy, you know, and I don't like looking at the closet, and even this covering doesn't help me in any way. It just gets in the way. It's annoying. The vines are annoying. Yeah. Wish I had a bigger room, but that's how it is right now. It's getting really annoying. Yeah. It is what it is. Just have to deal with it. So yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna do. What I'm going to do. I also need an extra bookcase. I feel like if I have an extra bookcase, all my problems will be solved. Because I'll have more space for books, but okay, whatever. I'll figure it out at one point. Hello. Please excuse any external noises because I don't have. Actually, no, that's a lie. I do have my microphone. If the mics are not dead. If the mics are not dead, I do have my microphone.
Mics have been acquired. Okay. Hello. I hope y'all like my fit. This is the fit. I had to put my hair up because it was driving up the wall. The earrings, the necklace, were all, I'm on page 798.99. It is, 798.99-ish. And I am about this much through, so I have this much left. Hello. Welcome to another little update from this corner after work. Yeah, so here is the update as to the state of the book, that is. And here is how much I have. Hold on. I gotta give you the exact amount, because otherwise, okay, this is how much I have left. So if we calculate it, let me just calculate this real quick because I don't do well with quick math, the spine is broken. Argue with the wall. 952. I have 291 pages left. The likelihood of me finishing tomorrow is likely. I plan on really, getting through this on my way home. Have I been tabbing since a specific point? This is my last tab. Okay. My last tab was here. Okay. I haven't tabbed since. The reason for this is because I just wanted to. Okay. I haven't tabbed. I've annotated it. I've written notes in the margins. The usual things that I do. However, I haven't tabbed it because I'm really into the story and I feel like it just takes me out a little bit because I have to I have to get the tab, I have to do this, I have to take it off, I have to put it in. So I'm okay with not having tabbed the later half. I'll go back at some point eventually once I finish the book and tab it. But for the most part, I'm okay with it sort of being half and half for now. So that is roughly actually half of it tabbed, to be honest. A little over half. According to Storygraph, I am 75% through. And that is with all of the pages counted. So the total amount of pages in this book is 1,276. And the page that I'm on, 952, is 75% of that. However, if we do some math, which y'all know I don't like, so I'm 76%. So it's just like a 1% difference. That's the update. How do I even update this to you? Where did I leave you guys? I don't remember where I left you guys. Basically, it's been revealed that Ferdinand, Albert's father, was the one that betrayed Ali Pasha. It was like honestly, all this historical stuff has gone over my head, but he betrayed Ali Pasha, and then his daughter Haide, I guess, was sold to slavery essentially in the Count Bar, right? But he treats her not as a slave so much, he treats her as a human. And it was revealed that Ferdinand betrayed him and he was killed for 2,000, I don't remember what it was, but he betrayed him for money, which, okay. Cadros is dead. Cadros realizes who l'Abbé Busoni is, who Lord Wilmore, I think, is, and the engagement between Albert and Eugénie Danglars has been broken off because Monsieur Danglars wants to marry Eugénie to Andrea, who is actually Benedetto, who is the illegitimate son of Madame Danglars, but Danglars doesn't know that. So, which is, they're half siblings. Hello? What? But I don't know if in that time that mattered particularly. And then what else happened? There was that scene in the house in Olit. I can't. Auteuil, my bad. Auteuil, there's that scene where his servant tells him about how Villefort had an affair with Danglars' wife, which resulted in Benedetto. and how Benedetto was rescued and he became a criminal and was sent to prison and stuff. And he brings Villefort, Madame Danglars, and a couple other people to the house in Auteuil, and he doesn't change the one room where it all happened. So basically, Madame Danglars was giving birth. She was basically in labor, but the child came out not breathing, so Monsieur Villefort. So de Villefort thought that the child's dead, so he put him in a box and was going to bury him. And yeah, and there's like, it's like very gloomy, very spooky. So yeah. Oh, Ali Pasha of Janina. Lord Wilmore, that's what it is. Yeah, so Benedetto is impersonating Viscount Andrea Cavalcanti. So, yeah. Oh, Valentine is engaged to France, and she's in love with Maximilien, who's Monsieur Morel's son, who's like a highly decorated officer, whatnot, and Monsieur Noirtier de Villefort, Valentine's grandfather, the father of de Villefort, crown prosecutor that threw Dantes in the Chateau d'If in the first place because of Noirtier, but he causes the engagement to be broken off because he reveals that France's father didn't actually perish in a duel. He was actually assassinated. And at the head of the committee for the Bonapartists was Noirtier himself. Benedetto is engaged to Eugenie by Danglars. Cadrus blackmails Benedetto. But there's also the whole thing with the de Villefort. So basically, Monsieur and Madame de Saint-Méran, who are Valentine's maternal grandparents, or her deceased mother's parents, her grandfather dies, and then her grandmother dies. And the doctor is like, oh, it seems like they were poisoned. And then there's a scene where the servant of someone comes. He's older and stuff. And Valentine brings him lemonade, and he drinks the lemonade and falls to the ground, and he dies. And the doctor's like, to de Villefort, he's like, I believe it's Monsieur Noirtier's servant. I'm all over the place right now. It's such a good book, I can't even explain it. But yeah, so he's like an older gentleman who's like the servant or whatever. And the doctor to de Villefort is like, there's death in this house. And I think that Valentine is actually the one who's poisoning everyone because she's the one that brought lemonade. She's the one that was preparing this. She's the one that was preparing that. And there's a moment where, I don't know if I can find it. So the domestic staff asked to leave, and it says, we wish to go because there is death in this house. So leave they did, in spite of pleading, and expressed deep regret at leaving such good employers, above all, Mademoiselle Valentine, who was so kind, so generous, and so sweet. At these words, Villefort looked at Valentine. She was weeping. How odd it was, for all the confused feelings that he experienced. On seeing those tears, he also managed to observe Madame de Villefort, so his second wife, the stepmom of Valentine, who doesn't like Valentine. Okay, she does not like Valentine. And it seemed to him that a faint, dark smile passed briefly across her thin lips, like one of those sinister meteors that can be glimpsed as they fall between two clouds against a stormy sky. So I believe it is, in fact, Madame de Villefort that has been poisoning them in hopes of getting, like, the money, because all the money that Marseille has and all the money that the Saint-Mérans have are going to go to Valentine because they don't want it to go to their second grandson, the son that Villefort has with Madame de Villefort, whose name is Eloise. There's that. I'm a little all over the place in terms of the plot, but a lot has happened, and I'm really enjoying the book, and it's a vibe, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know what else I can tell you. The whole thing with Monsieur Noirtier was crazy. It's truly crazy. It was I don't even know how to explain it. Oh, Eloise begins poisoning members of Villefar's family, intending to ensure that all the family's wealth will be inherited by her son Edouard, rather than her stepdaughter Valentine. Marty secretly begins dosing Valentine with a drug that will give her limited resistance to the poison. And then Catrus tries to rob the Count's wife, and he's stabbed by Benedetto. He names the killer, who is Benedetto, imposing being an imposter, basically as Cavalcanti, and the Count reveals his true identity. Okay, that's all I know. I know that at one point Mercedes, who is Albert's mother and Dante's former fiance, she married Fernand, so le Comte de Marseille. Yeah, I know that she begs him to spare Albert despite everything, despite what Fernand did, but I don't really know beyond that. I believe he does spare him to a certain extent. They had a good friendship, but I feel like that wasn't going to last very long if you think about it. Because he was probably going to get caught in the revenge at some point, even if it had nothing to do with him, to be honest. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely going to be a 5-star, I'm going to tell you right now. And then once that's done, I can finally get to Sunrise on the Reaping. I'm so excited for that. You guys would not believe. That's the update. I know I haven't really been updating you guys too much, whoops. But this is a long ass book, and I don't want to make this vlog super duper long because I have to edit it. Like, this is a one-woman team over here. I'm doing everything. So I'm gonna be very happy once I finish this, because it's been over a month at this point. So then it's gonna be Sunrise on the Reaping, and then it's gonna be like Geographer's Map to Romance, and then I also have Water Moon by, I forget her name, but it has a really cool cover, and then it's just a bunch of other books, and it is freedom from that point. Anyways, that's that. That's the end of this update. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.
finished it. I was gonna film like the outro earlier, but I couldn't find like a proper spot where I could clip on like the microphone, so I decided to wait until I got home. Anyways, I finished it. This bad boy took me over a month. Yeah, I know that it's like half tabbed. It's because sort of I didn't run out of tabs. I still have tabs. I just ran out of the desire to continue tabbing. I just wanted to finish it, and I'll go back and tab it eventually. But this was just a journey and a half, and I don't think I want to ever. I wish I could read this all over again, obviously, but the person that I was at the beginning of this book and the person I am at the end are two very different people. Not super different, but different nonetheless. And yeah, it has been beaten up to like oblivion. But yeah, I also don't like these editions of Penguin Classics, but that's another totally different can of worms. Anyways, I'm also talking kind of quietly because it's late, or they should be, and my brother just got into the shower just as I like walked into my room. But it's like when I opened, anyways. I finished it. How do I explain this? Where do I even start with this book? This was a journey. Like, you know, I know that it's really long, but some of the chapters are actually like, the thing with the chapters in classics like this is that if it ends halfway through the page, the chapter will start on the same page, which I feel is something that really helps you just continue through the book. And there were just so many beautiful quotes, so many beautiful moments, and it's amazing. It's just beautiful, you know. And the writing is amazing. You know, the relationships between the characters are phenomenal. The ending of some of the characters is sad, but it's overall a fairly happy ending, I think, and I think it's an ending that makes sense. Rarely does a classic, especially if it tackles philosophical things and psychological aspects of humanity, I guess, rarely does a book, especially this size, feel like it has a satisfying ending. And I think an ending that makes sense, because a lot of these books, they rely on the fact that they're philosophical, so they can make the ending as big as possible, and then people will come out with theories for the next 1,000 years, you know what I mean? But in this case, like, yeah, there's a slight ambiguity to it, but it's an overall happy ending for the characters you are meant to be rooting for, if that makes sense. Like, the characters that you're not meant to like do not have a happy ending. Characters that you do like have a happy ending. Yeah, Dante's is sort of going from this innocent 19-year-old to this revenge, centered revenge angel, vengeance angel of vengeance, whatever. Was like this progression, this arc was so phenomenal to read, because the Edmund Dantes at the beginning of the story is a completely different person to the Edmund Dantes at the end of the story. And there's a 10-year, I don't know if this would, see, I really like it when there's like time jumps and when we don't know what really happens during the time jumps, because there's a point in this where after Dantes realizes that Mercedes married Fernand and his father passed away, and all that stuff, he goes and he leaves for 10 years, I believe. So there's a 10-year gap between when he escapes the Chateau d'If and finds out what happened to his former fiance and his father, to meeting Ketros. I think it's meeting Ketros. I believe it's meeting Ketros, or is it Morel, or maybe it's after Ketros. So it's before Telos, question mark? Yeah, maybe. I don't remember. Anyways, there's a 10-year gap. And we don't really know what Dante's did in that 10-year gap. And I don't know. I love when authors do that and you don't have all the answers, you know? Frankly, most of the time, you don't need to know everything. Like, it's valid that the author doesn't give you all the answers. I kind of like that. I dig that, you know? But yeah, I really love this. I'm blabbing. I will obviously have a proper review, but I just need to wrap this up so I can start my sunrise on the reading vlog. But who do I recommend this for? I would recommend this if you want to get into French literature, if you want to read other works by Dumas, and let's say you've read like The Three Musketeers and I don't know, whatever else he has written, and you want to get into this one and you're intimidated by his size, don't be intimidated by the size. It's so well worth it. Every single page is very well worth it. The only things that really went over my head that I didn't fully understand is the whole anything related to the money. So every time they said like 50,000 livres and 2,500 francs over my head, I can't tell you. I can't tell you the Americanized, the westernized version of. Anyways, so some of the twists are kind of crazy, not gonna lie. Like, you sort of are able to guess what happens, like who is, for example, the poisoner in one of the houses, question mark. But just the way that it's revealed is just so magnificently done. I don't know how to explain it because you just have to experience it for yourself. I will be thinking about this book for the rest of my life. Like, I can't get this book out of my head. This has become, I'm not big on classics in general, but this was worth every page, and I don't say that very often about classics. I think out of all the classics that I've ever read, if we exclude the Odyssey and the Iliad, because technically they're not really classics, like, if you, like, you know what I mean, because they're ancient texts, so if we separate the ancient texts and the classics, this is one of the only classics that I've read that was really, really worth it. The other one is obviously Pride and Prejudice, and don't mistakenly call that just a love story, because it's not just a love story. And also, I feel like if I read it at my old age, so to speak, I would enjoy it more, and that is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, because I feel like when I read it in grade 10, question mark, 11, 10, I think, when I read it back in high school, I didn't enjoy it, because it was in the context of an English class, right? You don't tend to really enjoy classics in the context of an English class. Although one classic I did enjoy Far from the Madding Crowd, but I don't remember much of it. But anyways, this was definitely worth every page, and I'm so excited to read Three Musketeers and the rest of the D'Artagnan series, as well as dip my toes into Victor Hugo, because I remember reading, what is it called? French it's called Le Dernier Jour d'un Condamné, and we didn't read the whole thing, we read bits and pieces, but it was still, I think it was really, really well written. I read it in the original French, The Last Day, The Condemned, I think. And I admire both Dumas and Hugo a lot, just in general as writers, so very excited to dive into whatever the heck I decide to dive into next. But yeah, I think I don't know if I'll continue getting Penguin classics of like Dumas and Hugo's work. I might start getting Oxford classics instead, just because the way that these are built nowadays compared to the old ones is atrocious. It is truly atrocious, because if I show you a book that is equally as big and I show you the older edition, versus this newer edition, you will see the difference. Because I've had this for what? I've had this since December, I think. So I had it since late last year, right? And it's been on my shelf. It's been on my desk. It's been on my shelf. It's been on my desk. It's only last month that I decided to start carrying this around. So it got a little banged up, right? But it got more banged up than I expected it to. And it's not normal wear and tear. You know what I mean? Because this is not normal wear and tear. Like my copy of Frankenstein, there's wear and tear on it. Like it looks worn down, first off. I haven't even cracked it open. It's ridiculous. And then you have my copy of like freaking, I don't know, Cicero's letters or whatever, or my copy of my old copy of the Shahnameh, because I have two copies now. My old copy of the Shahnameh. My copy of the Shahnameh, the cover is like half ripped. Like they're ripped, like it's partially ripped. And that one, besides the ripped cover, it doesn't look like it has much wear and tear, but it should. And I'm pissed off by the quality of this new way that Penguin is putting the books together. I don't like the change in the penguin, in the band, in the font of the, like, in the font they use for the name and the title. Like, look at this. Look, it's like, it's curved. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's concerning because I didn't do that much, you know? But yeah, if you are intimidated by this classic, another piece of advice that I do have is use the spark notes. I know this is very English teacher's pet of me, but use the spark notes because sometimes I didn't understand what was going on fully. Does that make sense? You know when you are reading it, right? Like you're probably reading it, not skipping. You're probably reading it, and your brain just doesn't fully absorb everything. And or like it uses, the chapter has some not commonly used language or vocabulary, and you're like, did I understand that correctly? Use the spark notes. just trust me on that one, okay? Trust me. Use the spark notes, because the spark notes is, if you have the Penguin Classic one especially, it mentions that there's a scene in some translations that is very significant to Dante's character arc. And in this one, there is that scene. You do have that scene in that specific chapter towards the end. And this is important to Edmund's character arc and his progression as, you know, realizing that he's not actually the right hand of God and stuff. And some translations don't have it. But reading the Penguin Classic and reading the spark notes and knowing that the translation has, it just adds something. Also, I would recommend this translation. It is fantastic. I haven't read any other translations per se, so I can't really say anything about it. But with the way that, I don't know, the way that Penguin, I don't know what their process is, but it's just any translation that's with Penguin, I trust automatically. Which is why a lot of my classics are in the Penguin Classic version. It's just aesthetic too. But I think I'm gonna start leaning towards the Oxford Classics as well, because yeah, I'm gonna show you the wear and tear of that Frankenstein copy, by the way. I am telling you, I haven't cracked this open. Do you see this? Do you see this? Look at this. What? Like, what? Okay, the back is fine, more or less. But what is this? What is this? Anyways, I'm gonna go take a shower and go to sleep. Thank you for watching this vlog. It's been a minute. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I've convinced you to read the book. And I will see you in